All right. Good morning. Happy Saturday to everyone out there in Facebook and YouTube and StreamYard land. Coming to you live from Peoria, Illinois. Me and Sauce today. We're going to be interviewing someone pretty cool today. He is, I guess, technically kind of a business partner within the same industry portion of the industry that I'm in. Here with our company that we're a part of. And very excited to get to interview him for a few minutes this morning. I think it's like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock his time. So he's up earlier than most of us are, us Central and East Coast folks. But we're going to get him introduced here in a second. He was a contestant on The Ultimate Agent, part of the 8% Nation, Cody Askin's awesomeness that's out there. And so first I'm going to get our intro kicked off, and then I'll get him in here in just a second. All right, good morning. This morning we've got Mr. Michael Vigil all the way from, is it Arizona?
No, I'm in New Mexico.
New Mexico. Okay. I always get, it's like I get Minnesota and Wisconsin mixed up all the time. And those two, I don't know why. They're like, are they at least close to each other?
Yeah, we're neighbors. So New Mexico is known as the flyover state. We're that state between Texas and Arizona, you know?
Yeah, well, Illinois is a flyover state too, so I get it, man. So good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I already got my workout in, got my reading done, got my devotionals done. So excited to be here with you and Sawyer.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So I want to, you just said something that a lot of people in the industry maybe don't do, or maybe they should do more of, but like, and this is not necessarily specifically, you know, one religion over the other related, but like you said, devotional. So I just want to unwrap that with you real quick, completely off topic, but you mentioned it. Like, why do you do something that is, we'll call it spiritual, right? Like, why is that something that's important to you to kick off your day, even on the weekend?
So, you know, there's this saying that I was told a while back. It's how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And when you start your day from that place of integrity and gratitude, and you center yourself, the rest of your day can just go as smooth as possible. You know, I've seen those days where I've been busy, or, you know, something just happens right off the bat, you know, and you don't get to do the things that you normally do. Your routine gets taken off, and then your whole day is trash. You know, it's like, it's hard to find that focus again, get centered again. And I mean, my faith has always been something that I've been strong with. It was seen on the show, you know, the Ultimate Agent show as well.
Yeah, it was.
Quick little story on that. I mean, just because it wasn't seen in the episodes, but on the Sunday, the day of elimination.
Yep.
I actually went to church with a family that I met, a family that I helped write policies on.
No way.
I drove 45 minutes from the mansion to that church, went to church with them, and they do 1.5-hour services. I didn't know that. I'm used to hour services, you know?
Yeah.
And then to come back and finish out my day, you know, and, you know, they're like, you're wasting your time. I'm like, well, not for me. You know, I made a great connection with these people. They invited me because we started talking about that, you know, in the appointment. So it's important to me.
That's super good. That's really good. Yeah, you want to ask him about it?
How big was the mansion?
It was like a Mick mansion. So if you don't know what that is, that means it's kind of like a mini mansion. But for Omaha and being downtown, I think it was pretty nice.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So let's kind of unravel this thing some, man. So for those that don't know, if you're watching live or if you're going to be watching this recorded, the Ultimate Agent contest was a contest put together by Cody Askins and his team over in out of Springfield, and they wanted to kind of do something that, to my knowledge, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct here, right, Michael? Like, has never been done. And so they took hundreds of submissions, probably thousands of submissions, literally from agents from all different companies, all different IMOs, all different types of insurance from all over the nation. Some even applied from all over the world, and took them all and put them into a head-to-head contest, right? And the contest was filmed. Basically, what I think it was 18 hours a day. You had a microphone on you, like basically, unless you were in the bathroom or sleeping, you like had a microphone on you, right? So it was very much like a reality TV show. Not very much. It was exactly like a reality TV show. It was constantly filmed, microphone in your face. We'll get to a funny little thing that happened. I think it was with you. Dropped the microchip card or something, and was that you that they like fell down they thought it was in the cracks of the porch or something?
Yeah.
And so some kind of bloopers, if you will. But I want to kind of walk through with you, because the reason we're doing this, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, we've got all 5 contestants from last year: Michael, Patrice, Johnny, Moon Thomas, and Amanda are all going to be in the next 5 weeks. Michael being our first one, all going to be here with us. And then we've got a surprise coming at the end of all of that in about 5 or 6 weeks, or 6 or 7 weeks. We got a surprise happening after that. But it's just going to be super cool to get to kind of talk to each one of you guys that were on that contest and that show. But I want to start with why did you decide, Michael, to, I guess, apply or put it, throw your hat in the ring to say, hey, pick me? Like, what made you want to do that from the beginning? Because you've been in the business for a little while, right?
Yeah, I've been in the business since 2013.
Okay, so at the time you were in it for about 8.5, 9 years. You've probably had tons of ups and downs. Why did you? I mean, you're obviously not a new agent. You've got agencies, you've got agents working. You're working yourself. Why did you want to like say, hey, I want to be a part of this?
Honestly, I just saw an email that came through. And you guys know Cody, he sends out like 12 emails a day. And I saw this one about Ultimate Agent contest. Do you want to be the Ultimate Agent? And I was like, well, yeah, sure, why not? Like I'll throw my hat in the ring. And I honestly forgot. I forgot that I applied. And then I get a phone call and they're like, hey, you're one of the people that we're looking at. What's your availability? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And then they had the show where they were actually selecting people. And I was just kind of blown away, because here I am in New Mexico, kind of minding my own business, entered this contest. And I didn't really do what everyone else did. Everyone else was putting themselves out on social media, X, Y, Z. And when I asked Cody and his team, I was like, well, why'd you guys choose me of all people? They said it's because we see that you're wholesome posts on social media. You care and you give back to the community, that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, wow. Like I didn't know people were watching, just to be honest.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that comes from that whole idea of like social media in the business, right? Like I think way too many people don't involve themselves in social media, and a lot of people try to put out what they think other people want to hear instead of just being themselves. And it sounds like that's one of the reasons you got picked to be a contestant, is you were Michael through and through. Like you didn't try to be someone else. You didn't try to put what you think people wanted to hear or see. Like you didn't, like you said, you didn't even know people were looking or watching. You were just putting out stuff that maybe even I would imagine, knowing you, that you were probably putting out stuff that you wanted to be able to go back, like Facebook does, in a year and see and get notified of. and to just have those memories, right? But here it is, however many people are actually seeing and watching what you're doing, and it paid off really well in the end for you. So that's super cool. You got a question for Michael, buddy? And can you hear us okay, Mike?
You guys sound great.
Cool. This is new fancy mic I got off of Walmart.com. You're gonna ask him a question about like being in the contest, like maybe like what is, I don't know, favorite something?
What was it like being in the contest, and did you like?
You're good.
Got it.
He forgot it.
Yeah.
You were gonna ask him what was his, what did he learn most about himself during the contest?
Yeah. What did you learn most about yourself in the contest?
I like that. So I'll answer that second part last though. So being in the contest was very fast paced. It was we arrived in Springfield, Missouri. We met all of Cody's team. We met all the people over at Secure Agent Marketing. We walked around the campus over there, and then we went back to the hotel and we were flying out the very next day. Like it was like, hey, we're getting out of here. And so the reality sets in once we landed in Springfield, and Cody's crew picked us up over there, and then so we arrive at the hangar for the flight from Missouri to Nebraska. And you guys got to know, like, we don't know where we're going, right? They want to make sure that we have a license in, these few other places. And we arrive in Nebraska. We all get our own car, right? And we drive over to the house, and then it's just nonstop from there. They mic'd us up. They put GoPros in our vehicles, and it was just like go, 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 go. I mean, we had a contest that night. We had a dialing contest who could set the most appointments for the next day. And then before I know it, it's just like it's over. It's like I was like, oh man, this thing it's over. And I was just like, hey, this is an awesome experience. But what did I learn the most about myself during that time was that that I still have that relentless pursuit of the goals that I've set in front of myself, right? So I didn't go there and intend on going home in the first 2 or 3 days, right? Like I was like, I'm here to the bitter end. Like no matter what happens, I'm going to be here. And I learned that if I stuck to my game plan, I would still get to the end, right? So,
and Michael, what was your game plan? Like without, but let's be careful here. For those who haven't seen the show, let's not ruin it. Let's not. I guess I kind of did say what place you came in, but they don't know what you did to get to that place. So we'll make sure not to make that mistake on the other people.
You didn't say what place you came in.
Did I?
No.
I think I did.
No,
no.
You said.
Oh no, I asked you offline.
You said we.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
You said we are not going to say your place because that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we said that offline before recording. So we're not going to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen the show. Okay. And we'll talk about how to get to the show and see it here in a little bit. But so not knowing where you were going, did you even know like what type of leads you were going to be working? What kind of like sales you were going to be? Did you know if it was going to be life insurance, mortgage protection, final expense? Like, did you know any of that, or did you just literally go and say, "All right, let's go"?
All we knew is that it would be in the life insurance world, right? So life, final expense, general life, whatever the case was on that. Right. But no, we had no idea.
That's awesome.
So my game plan was to just be consistent.
Yeah.
Because anything in life, right? If you're consistent, you're going to win. And I knew that going into it. So the first night, right, of dialing, the contest was who can set the most appointments for the next day.
Okay.
Because the first 2 days were going to be in-home presentations.
So you had to drive. That's why you had the car. Okay. Because in this world of, I was trying to figure out, in the world of virtual that we normally all live in now, you were really pushed outside of your comfort zone. Because I know you personally were doing all virtuals for the last 18 months prior to that with COVID and everything, right? So I think, am I correct on that?
Correct. Yeah. I was actually all telesales.
So even less, face-to-face stuff. So here you are in this contest. Didn't know that you were going to be in Omaha, Nebraska until you got to Omaha, Nebraska, right? Like you landed in the airport, you probably looked up and was like, Omaha, this place is still here? Like, and then you get there and now it's, here's a mic, here's a camera, here's a car, go dial. Okay.
Yep. We get a presentation from Landon. They present us with 500 leads, right? And I'm like, well, what kind of leads are these? And they're like, these were direct mail. They were just generated. So I was like, okay, cool. But like that very first contest, staying true to my game plan, right? It was who can book the most appointments for the next day. I was booking appointments for the next 5 days. When I was on the phone, they're like, hey, I'm really not available. I mean, I pushed with a few of them, but I actually had backloaded my week knowing in my head that I was going to be there.
Yeah. So you were preparing for the, as you said, the long haul, right? Did you know, let me ask you this. I don't know if this will give away too much for people who haven't watched the show yet, but we know it's single elimination, right? That's already been said. I think that's kind of said in the beginning of the show anyways. Oh, yeah. Did you know that someone was going to be sent home each day? I mean, because technically that is single elimination.
Yes, we knew that. Yeah.
But you in your head, you said, I'm not going home the first 5 days, 4 days, whatever. I'm going to be here for the last head-to-head, one-on-one between whoever's going to take the crown.
Right.
I love it. I love that, man. You said you had a question, buddy?
What type of car did you have?
Important here. Important information.
I had a VW Passat.
Is that diesel?
No, that one was not diesel.
No? Okay.
No.
I don't know.
I filled it up like 3 times, so.
Okay.
If it was, I mean, that car's broken now.
That's awesome. Do you have any other questions for Michael about being on a reality show or like that kind of stuff? What you got? Let's speak up. So you're good.
Did that hurt?
No, I'm good.
Did you go door knocking?
So I door knocked a couple, but I did not do as much door knocking as other people did. Okay. I like I said, the night before, because we did have a door knocking day, but when I was setting up my appointments, my door knocking day, I already had 5 appointments set up that day. So the only door knocking I did was literally in the neighbors of the people that I was supposed to meet with. That was it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So wait, so Sawyer, a lot of people that might be watching this or watching the recording later on that are in the insurance business, they probably don't even know what door knocking is. So,
I used to go door knocking with that.
So why don't you explain what door knocking is from your business, and then maybe explain to the folks watching what it is in the life insurance business. What does door knocking mean? I
guess I technically did go door knocking in my business.
Yeah, you did.
It is basically going door to door. If for my business, I handed out flyers for my lawn business, and I said, "Hey, I was just wanting Hey, I have my own business, and here's a flyer for it if you ever want me to come in and do your lawn or wash your cars."
That's awesome.
And a part of that, let's talk about that for a second. So I think in one of the episodes a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago, someone asked you about door knocking, and didn't Cody ask you about getting rejected on door knocking when people told you no? And then what did you say? Like when you got told no, I don't want this, what did you like? What were you thinking up here in order to go to the next door? Did you care? Did you not care? Did you get upset? Did you quit?
Just erase that from your mind. Just say, okay, well, that person may not want it. Maybe the next person does.
There's always a yes after every no, right?
So, Michael, in our business, in the insurance business,
I can explain that.
Oh, you want to explain? Okay, go ahead, buddy.
So in the insurance business, it's a little different. Sometimes you're able to get a hold of them on the phone already, but usually you have to literally go straight to their house. I mean, me and Dad used to travel like a state away.
Yeah, way back.
Yeah,
in the BC days before COVID,
2019.
Yeah, hey, brings me to another point, Michael. Not show related.
I remember some. Yeah. I remember some of your in-home appointments.
Yeah, have you ever taken your son on an appointment with you?
No.
Dude, that was pretty cool. Like, it was summertime, obviously, and he went on a few. Actually, he might have gone some during a winter break of 18 or 19. But
we did.
I mean, man, I remember this one appointment. This is a cool story. I'm glad you brought that up, man. You should take your son would. I think your boy would enjoy it, knowing like having met him at conference and stuff. I could see him like going on the in-home with you and being like, all right, okay, I got this. I can do this. But yeah, so he went with me and like, it was I don't know, they were probably in their mid 60s. So like, you know,
remember the guy that was the firefighter?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Good memory, man. And you know, it just shows how friendly some people actually are.
And they
you know,
made us hot chocolate and
Yep.
coffee.
Made him hot chocolate. Said, "Hey, we got some Legos that our grandson plays with over here. Like, why don't you can do these, and us and your dad will talk." It was a cool experience. And the fact you remember that's like 3 years ago, man. Probably more than that, because I mean, Mike, we're coming up on. I mean, St. Patrick's Day weekend of 2020 was when we went 100% virtual.
Yep.
That's when our company flipped the insurance business on its head and said, "Hey, stop going in homes. Here's how to figure this part out."
Did you go celebrate?
Right.
And yeah.
So, like that was that. So, all right. So speaking of which, right, let's get back to the show and kind of your experiences there. You had to go in home for the first 2 days.
Correct.
After that, was it your option of like, hey, you can do virtual if you want, you can do telesales if you want, you can do in-home if you want? Like, was it open to how you wanted to do it, or did you have to adapt what you were used to doing in your business for the past 8 years? Did you have to adapt it to something different?
Well, I mean, I've done everything, right?
Okay.
So at Farmers, you had to go out and find your own clients. At Northwestern Mutual, you had to build it from referrals, right? So that was the only way to build it. But yes, I mean, the first day was, in home. First 2 days were in home. Third day was door knocking. Fourth day was virtual, and then the fifth day was whatever you wanted. Okay, so it was really cool because the first 2 days are really the only 2 days that I went out in the field. After that, I literally sat at the kitchen table in the center of all the action, and I did all my business at the center of that table. And I did it for full transparency, right? I wanted to be in the mix of everything. I mean, I was telling the crew, I was like, "Hey, can you guys shut it down over there? Like, you guys are too loud." Like, I'm trying to work here. I'm trying to win this, And but yeah, so we had different days that we could do different things.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. Let me ask. Sawyer's got another question, but I'm gonna ask you this one first. What was for you like the biggest lesson you learned about, I don't know if I want to say really about yourself, but like, what was the thing that you took away the most that you've continued to use over the past year, and how it affected the way that you do business, or that not necessarily with customers, but like in general, like how you conduct your agency, how you run your business? Is there anything you learned that was like, man, I didn't realize that before?
So Cody did a really good job of selecting mentors and coaches, right, for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've always heard, hey, you should hire a mentor, you should hire a coach. And I've done it, but not on the scale that I'm doing it at now. So before that, I would do like a mastermind. I'd be like one of a few people that was getting coaching. I never did the one-on-one coaching. And since the show, I've spent more money on coaching and personal development and making myself better, because just spending that time with the coaches opened me up to knowing, hey, if I actually allow myself to be coached by the people that are doing this business at a high level, then I can get better and I can transfer that to my team as well.
So do you have a full-time coach now?
I have multiple coaches now.
Yeah.
For different areas of my life.
So I would say to anyone that's watching live or listening after the fact, if you don't have a coach, go find a coach, right? Gigi says loves you, and good job. So that's a huge word of advice. Sawyer has another question for you as well, and then I got one more, and we'll wrap this thing up at the 30-minute mark.
You got it.
How did you meet the family that you went to church with? Did you meet them over door knocking, or like over the phone?
So that one was interesting. I got hung up on by them the first time I dialed them the night before, the very first night. So I called them back the second day, And he's like, look, man, he's like, we're busy, like this is the only day that we can meet. And that was on Thursday. And I said, okay, no problem. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and schedule the appointment. And it was late. I mean, it was like a 7:00 appointment. So I show up. Huh?
So in person?
Yeah, I did in person.
Yeah.
I show up and it's like at a complex, right? They're like mini condominiums. And he's like, well, we're not there. We're grocery shopping. I was like, oh, great. I just drove an hour because I didn't know the area, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm booking these appointments, I didn't know how far they were. So I'm like, okay, great. So I was like, no problem, sir. I'll go ahead and wait for you guys. And I literally parked in the car and I just dialed while I was there, just dialed. And then before I know it, he's calling me, hey, we're here. Meet me at the door. So I met them at the door, walked in, helped them. We got to talking about a few different things. And I asked them, I said, hey, look, I'm a believer. I don't want to miss service. I mean, I can get online and watch our service back home. I said, but I like new experiences. He says, well, my family goes to church at it, I think it was 9:30, actually 9:30 over here. I was like, okay, great. I'll meet you guys there. So that's how I met them, Sawyer.
In person, in the house, at the kitchen table, back like we used to do business before the old COVID. Yeah. That's good, man. Michael, if people are looking to figure out, and we might go a little bit past the half hour, but if what would be your word of advice or words of advice? And I know you've got a lot of good ones, but if you could give like a succinct advice on how someone needs to think about how they can become their own ultimate agent, what would you tell them?
Well, the first one is it's something that I always say, right? So do unto others as you wish done unto you, So treat people the way that you want to be treated. It's probably the simplest rule I've learned. My grandfather taught me that early on, right? The golden rule: treat people the way you want to be treated. Do unto others as you wish done unto you. And how would that make me or anyone else an ultimate agent, right? Is when you go into it with the proper mindset of helping others. When you help enough people in this industry, you're going to be rewarded for doing the right thing at all times, right? And Alex, I mean, what's our number one? What's one of our core values?
Do you remember it?
Relationships matter. People come first.
Absolutely, right? And that's the only way that you can grow this industry. That's the only way you can grow in this industry, right? You grow in this industry by developing those relationships with your clients. And I mean, if you're looking at a person, if you're sitting across from someone at a table or a Zoom, and all you're thinking about is, oh man, this is going to be a huge deposit, I can almost guarantee you that policy is going to fall off the books, or you're going to be derailed before that appointment's over.
100%. I've always said, if you go out chasing the dollar, you're not going to make a penny. If you go out looking to help people honestly and do the right thing, you're going to be rewarded.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if I created it or if I stole it from someone else, but I often put hashtag impact for income. The more impact we can make, the more income we're going to get rewarded from it. And that's okay, because I mean, it's okay to make money, and we have to also remember that, but doing it unjustly is not okay. Doing it the right way, helping people the right way, making sure that they're protected, making sure they understand what they're getting in this business as far as the policies go, answering the questions honestly, not slipping stuff through the cracks just because it happens way too often. But man, like so true, right? Like, do the right thing even when no one's looking. That's another one of our core values.
Absolutely.
And the funny part that I've always said, not the funny, you were going to say that one. The thing that I always say about this business, and specifically where we're at here at Symmetry, is our core values. If we have 8, they're right here behind me, but if we had only one, all the other 7 would automatically happen because of that one. Relationships matter. People come first.
Absolutely.
Right? And as long as everyone in the industry would follow that those ideals, then we don't, get this 1980s used car salesman, persona, if you will, which unfortunately sometimes this industry has. So it's people like you, though, that are going to go out there and continue to do that right thing and put on the badge of honor and go out there and do it. That's really going to be what changes, one person at a time, one agent at a time, is what's going to change that in the long run. So,
Absolutely right.
You got anything to close this down with? You all good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, buddy. Hey, tell them thanks.
Thanks for joining us on Saturday Morning Cartoons.
Thank you guys for having me. Simeon, appreciate the comments about the shirt, man.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's good. Hey, again, man, we appreciate it. You guys stay tuned for the next 4 weeks. Skip a week, and then we've got something super special coming 6 weeks from now. So appreciate you guys tuning in. And you guys go out there and make a great impact on the families that are at your disposal to be able to help.